Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. If you're brand new, welcome for the first time. I'd love to get to know you. Feel free to make a comment, give a thumbs up, and maybe subscribe. There's a bell icon in the upper right hand corner. Click on that with your mouse, it's free. You'll know when I put up another video. If you're not new, welcome back friends. I today am making another Christmas kind of a recipe. So it's called Peppermint Mocha Brownies, based off a recipe for one bowl brownies. Okay, so I'm gonna make it a little bit different. So here are the ingredients. You're gonna need sugar, flour, butter. I'm using real butter. Vanilla. I'm using my own homemade vanilla. Peppermint. I'm using Watkins. Espresso powder. 3 large eggs. I have these out trying to get them to go to room temp, but they're fine. You know, large eggs are they getting smaller? Are they even allowed? I think they have to weigh a certain amount anyway. And I'm also using unsweetened chocolate, melted, and I'm using a little bit of peppermint broken up candy. And that is my story on ingredients. Now I have my oven already preheating. It's done, it beeped, it's 350 degrees. I'm going to put everything into this 9 by 13-ish pan. I'm going to line it with parchment paper so that I can get the brownies out in one nice swift piece. Okay, let's get started. And the first thing I have to do is melt this butter, not screaming hot, just melted, and then add sugar to it. And I'll show you as I go. I broke these pieces into smaller pieces because they'll just melt quickly, smoothly, and there won't be any that are over melted and under melted. I'm doing 30-second intervals for right now, and this is 1 minute. The butter is nice and melted now. I'm just gonna put I'm sorry, it's not butter, it's chocolate. The chocolate is nice and melted, and I'm gonna put the butter in and stir that around and see if I can melt that in. If I don't, I'll put it in the microwave for another 15 seconds or so. And there we go. This is a 1.5 sticks, which measures out to 3/4 of a cup. And I used real butter. You can use margarine if you want to. Stick margarine, not soft, not tub margarine, stick margarine. Let me stir this around, see if I can get it melted in. There we go. Butter and chocolate melted. And now I'm going to get with that sugar that it calls for. 2 cups of granulated sugar, white granulated sugar. Again, I'm going to put the recipe link in the bottom for you in the description. And here's the sugar. And it kind of changes drastically consistency, but it'll smooth back out. It looks really grainy here. That's just because it hasn't been incorporated all the way with the other ingredients. Okay, so to the chocolate and the butter and the sugar, I added 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and I am putting in just a dribble of this Watkins peppermint. So I don't want it to be overpowering, so maybe 1/4 teaspoon, and I put 3/4 teaspoon of vanilla, not a whole teaspoon, sorry. Okay, I could have put that easily into the eggs, but it says to go ahead and put everything together at this point. I'm going to beat the eggs before I put them in because I don't want them going in whole. So I put them in this dish, which I should have used a larger one. How about we do it like this? Whatever spills goes in, right? Yeah, it's not too hot. I didn't want to put eggs into a hot mixture and have them scramble. Yum, yum. Okay, so get these sort of kind of mixed in. And then I'll show you what I've got next. Ooh, so this is 1 cup of all-purpose flour and 1 teaspoon of this, let me grab it, Instant Espresso Powder. It says 1 to 2 teaspoons. I'm thinking 1 teaspoon because I just don't know. You know, the audience may not be up for it. Not everybody loves coffee like Kendra loves coffee. Speaking in the third person like Elmo. Okay, I'm going to add it in, and I'll bring you guys back when it's all mixed together, and we're going to stick it in the oven. All right, it's in and done, and I tried to get it all the way into the corners, make sure that, you know, it wasn't misshapen by the corners, but it probably still will be. It doesn't matter. So 350 degrees for my recipe says 30 to 35 minutes, or until a toothpick inserted comes out fudgy but not wet. Get it? All right, this is out, and I stuck it relatively in the middle, and I want to show you. That is what you're looking for. It's not going to focus. See that crumb? It's not a wet, you know, that's what you're looking for. And this is done. It took the minimum amount of time. Baker's one bowl brownies with my own additions. It didn't call for peppermint. It didn't call for espresso. I'm not done yet. Let this cool and show you. Okay, so the directions want you to take it out of the baking pan so that the brownie doesn't continue to cook and get overbaked. And so I lifted it by the lip. Now the recipe actually says to use a foil lining, but I prefer to use parchment for this kind of thing. So what I do to get it to go down is I cut each corner with scissors, and that helps it to lay flat when you're gonna bake it. So it's still warm, but not screaming hot. I mean, unless you put it in your mouth, then it might be screaming hot. So it's continuing to cool a little bit. And it's done. All cooled off. Sprinkle of powdered sugar on top with some peppermint ice cream and extra crushed peppermint candies. And it's, let me get a spoon out of the way so you can get a better look. It's not a tall, thick, but it's a very fudgy, dense brownie. And it's a perfect December dessert, and I hope that you'll try it if you like chocolate. And like I said, I shall put the actual recipe from Baker's Chocolate, one bowl brownie recipe, where I added, that's not a part of their recipe, but I added the espresso powder and the peppermint extract. Everything else was right on the nose for their recipe. Hope you have a lovely day. And you think about subscribing. Bye, everybody.